I'm gonna turn these fresh, juicy peaches into a fresh peach cake. My name is Sydney if you're new here. Welcome to 52 Weeks of Baking series, where each week I take you on a little behind the scenes action of a new bake I do in the kitchen. This week is week 25, so come along. For the cake, we're gonna start with our dry ingredients, of course. I've got some flour here in this bowl, and I'll add some baking powder and baking soda and salt. For my wet ingredients, I'm going to start with coconut oil. Add that to my bowl along with some granulated sugar and 2 eggs. For the coconut oil in the cake, you can always use like regular canola oil or olive oil, but I like to use coconut oil. I don't have a scientific reasoning behind it. I think the taste is best compared to those oils. I do like olive oil in certain cakes, like when you do olive oil cakes. It's just personal preference at the end of the day. For my remaining wet ingredients, I have Greek yogurt that I'll add. Could also use sour cream, vanilla extract, almond extract, some lemon zest. I'm also going to juice half of a lemon. To our wet ingredients, we'll add in the dry. And I'm going to gently fold this so that I'm not over mixing. If you watched my crumb cake video with the berries that I made a few weeks back, this one is very similar to that. We're gonna put it in a springform pan just like we did then, and throw it in the oven, and then it's a pretty easy cake all in all. For the peach component of this cake, I have about 5 peaches here that I've peeled and sliced. I'm going to take 2 tablespoons of sugar and toss the peaches in that. It'll help bring out those juices, macerate the peaches, and then we're going to put cinnamon and a little bit of nutmeg on the other half. I have half of the sugared peaches, half a teaspoon of cinnamon, and a little bit of ground nutmeg. I'm just gonna eyeball it, measure with the heart. It's gonna taste like peach cobbler, I think, in cake form. Now this cake is layered, so I'm only going to put half of the batter into the bottom of our springform pan and spread it out. It is a very thick batter, but that's okay, that's what we want. Then before we add the rest of the cake batter, I'm going to take those cinnamon sugar peaches and just sprinkle those throughout. And then we'll top with the other half of that cake batter. Then I'm going to add the last of our sugared peaches. And when the cake bakes up, it will kind of rise around the peaches like when you do a peach cobbler. Sometimes when you do peach cobbler, you do the biscuit mix over the peaches, but other times you don't. And this would be like that. We're gonna put her in the oven for about 50 minutes. We'll check and see how she's doing at 30 minutes to make sure she's not cooking too fast or getting too burnt. Our peach cake is out of the oven. It's been cooling on a wire rack here. Going to try and take it out of the pan to see the finished product. For the finished product, we'll dust with a little bit of powdered sugar just to add some aesthetics. Look at that cross section, peaches, and a perfectly moist cake. Thank you guys so much for watching this week's video of my 52 Weeks of Baking series. Be sure to test this recipe out and let me know how you like it in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss next week's video.